What's up, y'all? All right, so it's a new season, a lot going on. What was I about to say? Can you believe season 8 just drops this Thursday? We just recorded Saturday. We just recorded Saturday, so um, that was that was good stuff. Interesting today's episode because we got a lot we got to cover, especially as we get prepared for this new season. I'm gonna let a few more people come on, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I want to say we're not talking about Diddy. We didn't talk about Diddy enough. And it's if you saw my story, one of my homeboys was in Diddy and saw him and Stevie J riding bikes. If you didn't see the picture, ask for the picture. I'm gonna send it to you because I screenshot it off his story because that was wild. But you know what, I think Diddy should write a book on how not to give a f. That's what I think he should do. I think he should write a book on that because clearly, Buddy don't care. He don't care. So now, looking back, I realize now this whole season going into season 8. I remember I kept telling y'all I was going to do a live stream every Monday. Literally, when I say literally, it's been every other Monday. That's crazy because it wasn't supposed to be like that. It just kind of happened that way. But it literally, this mug was every other Monday. And that wasn't a goal, but like I said, it just kind of happened that way. But moving forward, because since we are now in season 8 now officially, because this week I'm gonna make sure it's every Monday. Like I said, of course we're gonna have some skips here and there, but for the most part, I want it to be every Monday. We got a lot of stuff we got to cover today, so I'm not by myself. So let me put this on Instagram, and then we're gonna get started. I have a guest today, as you saw, because we got quite a few things to discuss. Tripping. Let me go ahead and add him up here. My boy, what's going on?
What's the deal, my boy? My bad, bro. I ain't
You
realize.
had to set up your. You
Man,
had to set up your.
I thought I
Uh
was ready, bro. I had to get right. You feel me?
huh. Nah, for real. All right. So as we seen in the title, we're gonna cover quite a few things today. We covering Matthew Underwood from Zoe 101. We are gonna cover Sexxy Red and Joe Budden, and then we're gonna cover Bandman Kevo's response to his son's passing, which it seemed a little weird to me. But all right, so first of all, before we get into that, tell the people who you are, tell the people what you do for those that don't know.
Hey, man, rap game, John D. Loudest in the city, man. I'm a hip hop recording artist, entrepreneur, businessman, whatever you want to call it. All that.
All right, all right. And you from where?
I'm from Houston, Texas, born and raised in North.
All right, bet. All right, so let's get to the first topic for today. So, for those that don't know who Matthew Underwood is, he is from Zoe 101. I think his name was Logan on the show. And he just recently came out talking about how he was sexually abused after we all know Quiet on Set came out. And for those that don't know what Quiet on Set is, the documentary about the kids at Nickelodeon who was under Dan Snyder's care, whether they were molested or whether they were just verbally abused. So in this, he puts on, and this is from I got this from the Shade Room. He talks about, he says, I know many folks want me to respond to the Quiet on Set documentary. I'm going to share with you something I've never shared or talked about publicly. I'm skimming through y'all. It says when he was 12-year-old, he was groomed and molested by his best friend's stepfather. He said, I lost my best friend I'd ever had because I couldn't spend any time with them without the personal guilt and betrayal brought on by a man I trusted as a father to me. When I was 19, I was sexually harassed and then assaulted by my agent at the time, who had spent a decent amount of time building trust with me as a friend and a mentor. Again, my trust was betrayed and my self image was crushed. Then he says, why am I telling you this? Well, lately, many people have been blowing up my email telling me how they hope me and my mom die and that we burn in hell. I'm being called a pedophile defender and all that jazz. I spent many years rebuilding my self image. And those hateful words have little effect on me today. But I imagine many of my friends in the business are being equally harassed if they aren't joining the chorus. So I'm sharing this with the hope that some of you recognize that just because a person doesn't shout from the rooftops that pedophiles are bad or that people can suck, that does not mean that they don't have their own reasons for staying silent, good reasons, personal reasons. I have extreme empathy for anyone who has been taken advantage of by the people they trust. I hope that they are all able to grow, to love themselves, and have great support from their family, friends, in their journey of recovery. I also ask all you take a few moments to consider why someone might not share their experience publicly and not immediately shame them for reserving their rights to privacy. I've never had a bad experience working on set of a Nickelodeon show, and I've never had a bad experience with Dan. I had nothing to add to that conversation anyone would care to hear. I like to believe people have the capacity to be better humans, and Dan appears to recognize that he has been an a-hole in his past. I like to believe he is fully capable of being a creator and co-worker everyone can enjoy working with. I have no experience working with him again, and this is just me wanting good for anyone who wants better. And then he finally said, "So please take a moment, consider that some people might not be making statements because talking about these things brings up memories and emotions that are difficult to deal with, and that they have every right to be silent. I can't believe even have to say this, but of course, I don't support pedophiles. Please stop wishing death for my family. And please reconsider harassing other actors who wish to maintain their privacy. You never know who has already been a victim of the hell you're wishing upon them. Matthew Underwood." All right. So now, that was a lot. Let's get into the first segment, which is what does this have to do with mental health? So, what's your take on that?
Okay, you want me to take over?
Yeah, what's your take on that? Before I give mine.
Um, it's a very what's my take on what does it have to do with mental health?
Well, what is your take on that situation? And then I'm gonna get into that.
Okay, well, my take on the situation, it's it's a very tough situation. Like, and for me to, it's hard to have a take on something like that because it's like obviously, if I'm in his shoes, I would in my mind, it'll probably go different. I'll probably fight for my life or some shit, but in his case, like, man, that man did that. So it's tough, bro. I don't know how to, I don't really know how to sum it up.
Well, this is what I'm gonna say too. Is so basically, in the short, the Cliff Note versions for the people. Matthew Underwood didn't respond to the Quiet on Set documentary because he talks about he's been harassed because a lot of the people who was at Nickelodeon who ain't spoke up, people been harassing him like, why you not saying nothing? And basically, he's just stating that he's a victim of sexual assault. The first time when he was 12, and then again when he was 19. Now, somebody in the comments I did see, they made the comment and said, "A grown man, you 19 years old, being sexually assaulted just don't sound right to me." Now, my take on that is, although I see where you coming from because it's like you a grown man. In his defense, it's kind of like a lot of times when it's happened, it's been people who he looked up to and who he trusted, and then on top of that, you in this business, these people know this is how you make money. These people know how, they know this how you make money. So when they do stuff like that to you, it's because they like, if you tell on me, you the child actor, but your parents that quit their jobs, your family literally just you the breadwinner of the family. So it's like you got to have the mindset of if I tell, then everything ruined. Especially in the mind of a 12-year-old. Now, when he's 19, even then, he did say he reported it to the agency and the man got fired. So at least he said something. But mentally, I would say it's clear to see that this was a struggle for him to even announce. So the fact that people just was kind of trolling him about why he didn't say nothing, I just feel like you can't get mad at him for not publicly coming out to say nothing about a documentary that didn't have nothing to do with him. I mean, it happened on his set, but it didn't really have nothing to do with him. So that's my take on that. So now this is a joint segment. So WWID, what would I do in this situation? So I mean, it's like he said, it's a touchy subject. It really is. But in all honesty, I've never been in a situation like that. But in a situation where we're not gonna just leave it as sexual assault, we'll leave it to the stance of or the view of you speaking up on something that telling your business as far as telling things that you went through. There's a time and a place, and I do feel like despite that, you know, he held that in for all these years. I do feel like he told it at the right time, as far as something he went through that he was, held in all them years and finally came out and talked about. So in that situation, we ain't even gonna talk about sexual assault, but we'll just keep it to the conversation about you being in a situation where you finally speak on something that happened to you at a young age that you finally speaking out about. So timing is everything. How would you go about telling or speaking out on something that you had went through, as far as that, it don't have to be sexual assault, but just in general.
Just in general.
Yeah.
How would I go about that, man? Like, I just have to, when you in this adult life, dog, you gotta face your fears. So like, I just jump in on waters, like, man, because I didn't been through a lot, so I can
Yeah.
I can I can go on a hundred situations, you know. So I'm jumping in there, like, feel me, like I'm gonna handle what I gotta handle.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna run away from it.
Yeah. And like I said, in my opinion, I think he handled it well. I do. I think he just kind of was like,
The only thing he could have, you know what I'm saying? It is done. What's done is done.
right.
You gotta handle whatever, you feel me, like it's done.
Yeah, for sure. What I want to say to that, I just think that with this situation, he knew people was gonna troll him. We in the world where Christian Keys came out some months ago about his situation. Um, there are the people with Diddy allegedly coming out with their stuff. So now everybody just spilling the beans on everything. Um, but people saying why he didn't say nothing. It's embarrassing for a woman to discuss sexual assault, but as a man, you out here telling people another man
It's
grow.
crazy.
That's what I'm saying. As a
You wanna
man, you
know the
telling
truth? You want to know
what?
the truth though? Like on some, if I'm really, really in his shoes,
Uh huh.
like I said, I'm blessed. Like God forbid, like I have my parents, and they really stood on, keeping their children, and none of us ever experienced anything or anything close. But in his shoes, I'm taking that shit to the grave, bro.
Yeah.
You feel me? I'm taking that shit to the grave, bro. So what the fuck, like, if I'm in his shoes though, like me,
Yeah.
that's me. I'm different than everybody, so.
Right. So, what is the next segment? So it goes into the next segment, which is WWJD, which is what would Jesus do? This is the most ethically and morally thing to do. So, with that, because you speaking from an angle of as a regular dude, right? Any man, black, white, his no matter whether you from the hood, the suburbs, as a man, and women too, but as a man, you're embarrassed. Let's just call it what it is. You are embarrassed that if that was to happen to you, and to know if you tell somebody, people gonna look at you differently. They're gonna do you like they doing him. That's why anybody like how Drake Bell, like you said, they took it to the grave. Drake Bell could have took that to the grave, but a lot of times that stuff be eating them people alive.
Feel me?
And that's the thing. They try to keep it in. And it's kind of like honestly what your favorite rapper do. Your favorite rapper might not have been sexually abused, but they done been through some stuff where they drug themselves up, try to smoke it away, try to drink it away, try to sex it away, and they never just deal with it. And so I think that in this situation, in the world we live in, people gonna talk about you for a minute, then they like literally blow over in 2 weeks or less. So it's just like if he could thug it out these 2 weeks, he should hopefully be all right because people forget about everything quick anyway.
I mean, but it's a different it's release, so you know
Yeah,
he probably just starting a healing journey or something like that. Like you know, whatever. It might be good for him. I don't know.
yeah, I think so because, like I said, he just getting it off his chest, and that's the main
Yeah,
thing. So
that's tough. That's tough. I ain't gonna lie. That's tough.
it really is. It's not an easy thing to talk about,
Yeah, it's
especially
tough.
if.
Bro. Like, it's tough.
So we're gonna end up this segment with what WSMD, which is what should men do in this situation. I believe that at some point you do need to talk about it, even though everyone's not gonna be a celebrity and everybody don't need to make an Instagram post about it. Some people do, I believe, but that's not everybody's story. So I believe that him doing that was good for him and it works for him. And I believe that some people, even if you just tell your mama, your daddy, your therapist, you're gonna need to tell somebody, you know.
Absolutely.
So you gotta tell somebody because if not, it's just gonna eat you alive. And if anybody has ever been a victim of sexual abuse, please give me put in the comments like what you've been through, or not what you've been through, but how did you get past it? What did you do? Because it's everything you can get past everything. It's just not gonna be easy, but you can get past everything. It just take time. All right, now we moving on to the next topic I want to talk about. We talking about Bandman Kevo. For those that don't know who he is a rapper. Who was he the rapper that got the BB? Not the BBL, but the not the BBL, but the six packs. Was that him?
I think so. Yeah. I think he got something. I seen something along the lines of that.
Yeah. Okay, well, real quick before we move on. So somebody said, as far as getting over like sexual abuse, prayer and being open to not being a victim anymore. That's absolutely, and I like that these people are taking ownership of what they've been through. Because if you don't take ownership of it, can't nobody try to throw it up in your face. So that's a good,
It's your
uh,
story. That's your story. Everybody
right?
got their own story.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody got their own story,
Yeah.
and you rather tell it than let somebody tell it for you. So, all right, now back to the man with the BBL. Or not BBL, but you know what I mean. So apparently, his son just recently died, and people felt as though his response was kind of dry. So I'm gonna share the clip, and this comes from Lucas J on YouTube, and he kind of gave a little breakdown of it. So we're gonna play the clip right now, so y'all can see just kind of how they broke it down. Let me get to it.
Rest in power, you know. And right after that, he posted his watch, right? And then he said, "We can't get a hold of his mom." And he said, "Anybody in Kalamazoo know anything about my son's death? DM me now." Now, a lot of people have been wondering, and that, you know, like why he don't know anything about the death of his son if that's his son, and why he not his life. But that's not up for us to debate because we don't know what's going on behind closed door. Now, you all can get up there. Anyone know anything about what happened to my boy? DM me details. Now, in this picture, you can see him and his son pretty much got like a couple weapons on him, you know. And it seems like, you know, he might have been out here in the streets. Now, I don't know. Regardless, you know, I'm not one of the guys that's gonna jump out here and be like, oh, why he passed away? You know what I'm saying? Regardless, this is a 15-year-old boy that passed away. Now, a lot of people joke on Bandman Kevo and they talk about him, but at the end of the day, he is human like everybody else, and you know, he deserves some slack. Now, and a lot of people, like I said, were like kind of disappointed because he posted his watch when, you know, I guess like when people pass away, especially a kid, you know, they grieve in a different way. But hey, man, who knows what goes on behind closed doors? You know, if I do see any more details, you know, I'll post on social media and I'll update y'all because, like, literally, I told y'all, I looked all on social media, Michigan news, you know, that city to be exact, looked on different details, different articles, and different websites, and I could not find one article on this situation. Now, regardless, you know what I'm saying, this is a 15-year-old boy. You know, may he rest in peace. You know, a very sad situation. Prayers out to Bandman Kevo. Prayers out to his family. And for all the guys that's out here, man, y'all be safe. You feel me? 15 years old is a very, very, very young age. And it's crazy. I lost a homie back in the ninth grade at 15 years old. You know, he passed away. And like as I get older, I think about how young you really are. Like you are a little boy, like mentally, physically, like however you want to look at it. Like, you know, you got a whole life in front of you. Like, you know, you just not going through puberty when you're 15. So you're a little boy for it, you know. But very sad situation, man. But give me y'all thoughts and opinions about this in the comment section. Let me know the details that I may not know about in the comment section because I don't know it all. And let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all already know who it is. It's Lucas J. Thank God.
All right. So let's go back to the first segment again for this. What does this have to do with mental health? So, firstly, I have to say we can't tell people how to grieve. it does look a little weird that I guess his son died and then he posted his watch right after. But I just don't think we can tell people how to grieve, especially with that. And like I said, sometimes people do things to get their mind off of stuff. So, what's your take on that situation?
I feel the same way. Like, can't tell nobody how to grieve, especially when it's something of that degree. Any sort of death, though, like you feel me, but
Yeah,
just losing a close family member, dog, that otherworldly. Like, so you just never know, You just never know, man. He probably was crying like a motherfucker posting that. Watch it, all we know, but can't tell nobody how to grieve though. It's his son.
for sure. Now, what would I do in this situation? Now, although I'm not shaming him for what he did, and like I said, could I agree that his response was a little dry? Maybe. But again, like I said, everybody grieves differently. Me personally, I wouldn't have probably posted anything, but that's not. I'm not condemning him for how he did it. I'm just saying me. If I was in this situation, I probably wouldn't be posting. I probably would have I wouldn't have probably deleted Instagram, but I might have I don't know, because sometimes people, especially with death, people be trying to help and they make stuff 10 times worse. And even though they just checking on you and they reaching out, sometimes like I remember when one of my friends died, people was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I'm like, don't do all that. Like, just relax. That I don't like all that. So that makes it worse. So in a situation where you dealt with death with somebody, how did you handle it? What was your coping mechanism for you?
My my mechanism. I mean, really can't even say, man. I really can't even say because you don't really never get over it. Like it's there, it's deaths from what 2015. You know
Yeah.
that I still, you know what I'm saying, get down about. So can't tell nobody how to grieve. I'm still grieving. I'm grieving forever. I done lost close ones. You know, people who showed me a different type of human being in this world. You know, a different type of love. So I ain't never getting over that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, because see, I'm about to be 30, and I've lost three close friends. So two was killed and one committed suicide. So it was just, and then we actually lost another friend recently. And so it's just it, 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 it's just hard to say what to do. Like I said, in my situation, I just don't want to talk. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't have been posting, but again, that's just me. And I don't like I said, I don't like all that. Oh, I don't like all that.
You know when young Dolph passed away, I'm just throwing this in there. When young
Go
Dolph
ahead.
passed away, a lot of people knew that how important young Dolph was to shaping my mind as a young black man. You feel me?
Yeah.
Immediately cut my phone off because I already knew what it, you feel me? I already knew. I ain't gonna lie. I already knew everybody's gonna start hitting me and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm the same. I'm kind of the same way. I'm kind of the same way. I don't want to talk. You know, that was tough, but I ain't never getting over that. And you feel me? I don't even know him. So
Yeah.
that was tough, bro. You feel me?
WWJD, what would Jesus do? Now, if we on the flip side of this, because if Jesus even cried when his friend died, so but on the flip side of this, I think that if somebody, because some people are just weird, like me, like if somebody I know, a friend of mine, have a close friend or family die, sometimes and sometimes people get mad at that. Whereas me, I don't know. I feel like as long as you just send like a text, like just hope all is well, you know what I'm saying? Something's like you ain't gotta do all that. That's just me. Some people want you to come sit next to them and hug them and hold them, all that. Like I'm just a little different. But in short, if you know somebody's friend died, cousin died, whoever died, just send them a text, check on them. Again, if in this situation with Bandman Kevo, like you said earlier, he might be crying off camera. He's supposed to record himself crying. I don't agree with that. I mean, some people might, but everybody do things differently. So that's how we feel about that. All right, so now let's move to the final segment with this before we move to the final topic, which is what should men do in this situation? I'm gonna just say grieve healthy, however that is for you. I don't believe you should just like let it bottle in or sit in, but like how you said you turned off your phone or you if flooding Instagram with pictures of that person make you feel better, do that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you guys figure out what works for you because everybody, you say everybody's grieving. Everybody grieves differently, so people just need to figure out what works for them in that area and do it. To write it down, write about it, make a song about it. Poem, scream, yell in the mirror. I don't know. But whatever works for you, that's what I would suggest. But you have to know it works for you too. All right. So now let's move into the final segment for today. And we talking about everybody's favorite, Sexxy Red. And Joe Budden came up with a theory about her. And we about to check that out now. And this comes from hiphopdx.com. So let's go to it.
Respectfully. And I ain't defending
It sound like a nigga that could rap at that level that could say that for everybody's good. Why you? Okay, first, that's what it seems like. To me, I'm not arguing with them. I'm not trying to debate.
Is this confirmed? Or this is just some inside shit that you're saying?
Oh, you think he just likes being around Sexxy Red that much?
Is this speculation?
Y'all think he just is?
I'm with you 100% with there. 100%.
You gotta teach me. I don't know, nigga.
I can name some more people. Hey.
In response to what Joe said, Sexxy Red issued a response, simply writing on X, "They so dumb." Drake also appeared to respond to Joe Budden by posting a picture of him on his Instagram stories, along with a caption that read, "What's the vibes in NY?" So what are your thoughts on Joe Budden's theory about Drake being paid to promote Sexxy Red? And what did you think of Sexxy Red's response? Let us know in the comment section. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and keep it locked to Hip Hop DX.
All right. So let's get into that. All right. What does this have to do with mental health? So mentally, we all know mental health. One of the definitions that I abide by is the study of how we act, think, and feel. And Joe Budden came up with an interesting theory. One that I don't think actually he might have a point, but I don't know. I think with Joe Budden, he's made it to where he gets paid millions of dollars to speak his opinion, his harsh opinions. We look for those opinions because they know they're harsh and they know they're in your face. And that's what he's known for. But I have to wonder, mentally, how does he deal with all the hate that he gets? Because some people don't care for real and some people fake it. Do you think he care for real? You think he faking it? Like you really believe he don't care, or you think he faking it?
I believe. I don't know, man. Joe Budden, I believe he don't care. He can't care. You feel me? Like you feel me? With what his brand is, that's his brand. So I believe he don't care.
And what's your take on that theory? His theory.
His theory of the Sexxy Red Drake. Okay,
Yeah.
so first of all, I just want to say shout out Sexxy Red, Aries Queen. I'm an Aries. She out of here, out of this world, superstar. I love Sexxy Red. I just feel like that theory. This is a business. It's a business. It's an entertainment business.
Right.
But when you just really, link with somebody and, y'all just build some sort of, I don't know, interesting connection. I ain't going to say spiritual or sexual or nothing, but just like an interesting, like you really fuck with this person, like genuinely. And, some shit just be love, That goes on out here. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's solid. It's solid situations like that, So it's just, he get paid to do what he do. and that's how he gonna get his money. He got kids to feed. So, it's Drake, the boy. Everybody got to mention the boy. Everybody want to have something to do with the boy. So hey, and Sexxy Red.
Well,
going crazy.
Well, with Sexxy Red being from St. Louis and I'm being from St. Louis, I feel like I got to be on her side in some cases. So I think that, I was always raised to believe two things can be true at the same time. I believe, picking back off what you're saying, I believe he probably is getting some kickback or getting some views to maybe stay relevant, befriending her. But I believe some people, have weird friendships where these two people don't look like they'd be friends, and they the best of friends. So I believe they actually like each other, like not even on no sexual. I believe they just they real life cool. I believe they probably sit up on the phone and everything.
And I can't look at Sexxy Red sexual, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like he. I mean, I don't know, Drake, but shit, no, it's probably genuine connection, man.
Yeah, for sure. So what would I do in this situation? So obviously, again, we can look at the behind the scenes of the stuff, and not behind the scenes, but kind of like the underlying tones. So yeah, I can't get that out right now, but we could expand upon Joe Budden giving his theory, coming up with a theory that sounds crazy but could be true. I give theories in real life all the time that sound crazy, and a lot of times they be true. But in this one, like I said, I believe it could be both. I could believe they both could be right. I don't believe that he's just like, I'm getting endorsed to hang out with her, and then I'm just gonna be her friend. Then again, we know Hollywood is crazy, so stuff like that do be happening. We would never know. But I do feel like Sexxy Red is a good time.
Superstar.
For sure, superstar. So in this case, what would I do in this situation? Well, me, I'm gonna keep with my theories. I don't care. But on the other side, looking at it from Drake's point of view, with Drake petty, he's like the pettiest person ever. Like he low key petty. He really like tap into his white side when he being petty because he's real passive aggressive. Especially like with that picture talking about some what's the vibe and why, like with the Joe Budden picture, like.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But he do put sometimes on names sometimes too. I will say that. So he might be coming. Him and Sexxy be coming with a record when they diss Joe Budden. But I think that in that situation, if I was Joe Budden, you get paid to speak that stuff, so you doing what you're doing. But as far as if I was Drake, would I have thrown a diss? I would try not to. But you never know. Sometimes it just might happen. I don't know. I feel like they could have put a positive spin on it. Like the picture funny, but like he could have maybe did like something like took that diss and made a song about it. And like made a song with Sexxy Red on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe some stupid stuff like, I don't know. I feel like he could have did something.
Drake probably brewing up right now, you know what I'm saying? Because the next thing he dropped, everybody gonna be tapped in. So I don't know. You might catch a Joe Budden strain or something.
Nah, for sure. All right. What would Jesus do? Ethically and morally correct to do in this situation? I guess we go back to Joe, because again, we speak on what men do. I feel like again, Joe can give his critiques and his criticism, although out of this one, I really don't think was that extreme. I don't think this commentary was that his commentary with their relationship was that big or that negative, in my opinion. But what I could say in his situation, anybody in his situation, if we're gonna always cost of what it is, and a lot of times it is, in a lot of cases it will be negative. I just feel like sometimes we can backdoor with something positive too. That's just how I see it. Because sometimes you don't want to be the person where everything is just a negative critique.
I hate negativity, man.
So I just feel like he could backdoor sometimes and give like a little positive, sometimes. What's your take on that?
Well, I'm lost. So we on the Drake and the Joe Budden, right?
Yeah, like in that kid situation, I just said I feel like he
from Joe and Drake.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, if that's his lane and it's gonna get him paid, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Drake, it's kind of like I don't know, man, because being that dude is just like you just got a playing field, bro. He having fun. He gonna have fun with it, bro. Drake gonna have his fun, man.
Yeah.
Drake gonna have his fun. If it was me in Drake's shoes, I mean, I ain't tripping, man. It's Joe Budden, like you feel me? It's Joe Budden, like you know what I'm saying. So I ain't really too much would pay too much attention to it, but like I said, I'm just a different human being.
Yeah.
Throw something in the song or something. If it sounded cool, yeah, this rhyme with that, yeah, I'm gonna throw it in the song.
I'm crying. All right, so finally, let's get into WSMD, which is what should men do in this situation. Again, Joe Budden, like you said, he gets paid for this.
Yeah,
but
we speaking on men though. We speaking on men. We ain't even men. So like besides the money, go ahead.
Right, exactly. So, like I said, I like Joe. I think with Joe Budden, where I like Joe Budden is I just like people who stand on what they said and they don't backpedal. Yeah. And he don't mind being canceled. He don't mind being hated. Because a lot of times you got to say stuff that's gonna get you hated. Now, I don't believe you should intentionally try. Like, I feel like sometimes like DJ Academics kind of goes into there. Like, I feel like he would try to just get hated. Versus some people, it don't matter what they say, you're gonna get hated because that's just who they are. I would just have wanted, if you're in an industry where you have to speak on things and a lot of stuff you say negative, I just feel like we should backdoor and try to add one positive thing. And sometimes, I mean, I get his rationale sometimes too, but sometimes he be dragging people. He be taking them on the gutter sometimes. Now, like I said, this case wasn't that deep, but I'm just saying in general. And then Drake just, I'm the type where I'm like, if I ever got dissed publicly by a public figure, because see, it haven't happened to me yet, so I can't speak on what to do, what I would do as of in that shoot. If I can speak on what I think I would do, which I would find some way, like I told my homeboy this other day, somebody diss me publicly, I probably would try to invite them on the podcast and have a conversation. That way we doing the positive thing and I'm getting money and I'm taking a negative turn to something positive. That's just me. But me personally, I've argued with enough people for far less, and I'm not arguing with people for free no more. That's just how I feel like. Like, if you want to diss me, I'm not going to say I'm not going to just not respond at all, but I'm not going to respond in a... The goal would be not to respond in a combative way.
Yeah.
So, what's your final takes on that situation? If you was to, let's just ask, if you was to get dissed by a public figure, what would you do?
I was getting dissed by a figure.
Huh?
It depends on what they dissing me about. Like, you feel me? It depends on, you know what I'm saying? It depends on what they hitting at.
Yeah.
It's only so many things that I got room to give a fuck about. So
right.
It just depends. If it's something deep like that I really care about, then I might have to just either respond in some way, because responding is in all different ways. So, but if it's something light, then I gotta be a man, dog. I ain't tripping on that. Somebody want to diss me about a female or some, just something small that you can just throw out the window. You don't gotta put no extra energy on it. I just keep it going, move on.
All right. So as we end off for today, anything you want to plug or tell the people you got going?
Oh yeah, man. I'm about to drop a LA based mixtape this week. Recorded and mixed in LA. I got a lot of things going on, but this week for sure, my tape from the drop is going up in LA on all DSPs this week.
All right, bet. And again, for y'all, I'm gonna keep throwing it in y'all face. Thursday is the premiere of season 8 of PSA the Mental Health Podcast. I think we're gonna release a trailer, so y'all stay tuned for that. And that's all I got.
Shout out Sexxy Red.
You said what?
Yeah, shout out Sexxy Red.
He said, "Shout out Sexxy Red." All right, y'all. So that's all we got for tonight. I'm gonna keep y'all updated with what comes up next, especially as far as the podcast go. But we got a great season, And we've recorded a gang of episodes already, so I'm interested to hear y'all takes on some of these things I got, because I'm coming for y'all next this season. All right. PSA signing out. Always remember, keep your head up like your neck hurt. Remember who you are. Make your mind up. Don't let it make you. And I love us for real.